Okay, it's time for a What's on the Bench update. So let's see here. Okay. Doing the Street Machine group build for Jason over at the Ox Models shop channel. So the truck is basically started painting it, and I'm gonna go over this again with some clear, but it needs a little more touch up here and there and some other things, and it's just got some first stuff going on. Same thing with this one. This one here, I don't like dealing with these kinds of beds that have the rails in them. Generally, let's say this kit didn't come with a decal for the bed, but a lot of kits that have these, they have a decal, and I usually just cut the decal sheet out. I don't put it in water or anything. Because it looks like a photograph, I just cut the decal sheet out and fit it in there, glue it in there in the bed. Because trying to get it to conform over all those ridges is just a pain. So, and I'm really don't have any interest in making them look like wood, or I just don't. So I'm going to cut a piece of diamond plate. I'll spray it with aluminum or chrome paint or something, and then that'll make that look much better. And I've done that before on these types of pickups, and that's what I like to do. So the interior is starting to come along. I still need to get, I have in mind some small parts that I need to put in here to raise the seats up. So that's going to be next for the interior. If you didn't see it in the other video, I have these 3D printed seats that I'd gotten off eBay. I got a really good price for them. I got like 6 or 8 of them at one time in a bag. So I will get those, but you can see they're too low because of the door panel. I mean, your head would just barely peek over, and that's not going to look good in a truck. So we're going to get that situated, and I started painting up the engine the way I want it. So that's going along. I'll paint the belt, of course, and I'm not sure what else I'll do. I may use some accent color, a panel line detail to use in a few areas, just to give it a little more depth. I'm not really sure, but it seems to want to fit the chassis. I've got the tires on the chassis because I've got it to fit in the body the way I want to. I think it'll be all right, but luckily it looks like it'll just line up right there. I just need to make a small transmission mount, so I'm looking forward to that. And then I'll be able to cut a hole in the hood and get going on that. So, yeah, it's coming along. I really like the wheels. Those are, if you didn't see the first video, those wheels I saved them off of some kind of die cast years ago, and they just seem to work good on this truck. So, let's turn this around. These are fussy to get on there, so I'm not going to bother doing it run on while the camera's going, but my phone is going. But you can get a general idea that it's gonna be kind of interesting when it's done. So, but that's where we're at on the truck. So moving on to the Woody's car song. I forget what he calls it. Car song group build. Anyway, that's going to be this 32. I'm waiting for this part here, this gloss black paint that I use. Takes days to dry, so I'm waiting for this small part here to dry. These are the headlights and the front shock. So when those are dry and I won't get fingerprints all over them, those will be installed somewhere here on the front, supposedly. That's the theory. I'm satisfied with the way it's coming out. It's not a bad kit. It's just a little fiddly, from the front end parts and things like that up here, which is not my favorite thing. And like I say, I don't build a lot of hot rods because I'm just not interested in all that stuff. But I like the way the exhaust comes down. They give you two small parts to tie it all together and such as that. So the interior came out okay. They give you decals for the gauges, but trying to get those round decals, I don't care how you trim them or whatever, it's just a pain. They never seem to fit. And I don't know why model companies do that. I mean, how can they measure to make a decal and print the decal, and yet it never seems to fit inside the dial? I never understood that. I mean, how can the measurements be off? I don't understand that. But so anyway, I just painted them. They were white gauges, so that just painted them white. And I'll probably put some clear on top of that. But yeah, I mean, it's coming along. We got that. It has a Duval type style window in this kit as an option. It has the regular rectangular window, but it doesn't come with any glass for it. So you're going to end up using this window anyway, unless you cut a clear piece of acetate or plastic to use in it, which I could in the square one. But this looks good. I like the angle. So there's only a few more parts to add. And then I still got to paint the guitar. I haven't decided what color I'm going to paint it to go with it. Probably a cream white or anything, because this looks like that would be a good color for it. And now the name of the guitar escapes me. So then we have the BMW. I was going to decal it, but I wanted to install some of these external parts on the body first. And then after I do that, I'm going to, another modeler suggested running some, thin plastic along there to make something to attach the photo etch to, but what I have, and I tried that, and I just couldn't get it to conform the way it should. So I'm thinking I might just put some small tabs behind there, maybe 2 or 3 or 4, and then I'll just glue. This grill is going to be flat black. So once that's painted black, and I'll paint the tabs black, and then I'll just attach those to those tabs, and that should hold it in place. Should be fine. I've got to do the same thing for the 2 photo etch parts that goes back here. But before I did the decals, I just wanted to, there's these little things here, which they come in the kit in plastic, or there's a photo etch option. And then there's these 2 things here, which are scoops with ducks underneath them, and those are flat black, but I still wanted to get them installed beforehand. And then I'll probably do the decals. The chassis is pretty much done. I just have to detail paint it a little bit on the bottom. So, but it's coming along. This is the interior. My original thought was to try to run some hoses and wires in there, but because it's made like a bucket, a lot of these race cars, these parts are separate on the side, the door panels and such. So you get the floorboard is separate by itself, which makes it a lot easier to work with when you want to run hoses and lines. You're going to drill small holes and use some wire or something to attach it, because that's what they would look like, giant tie wraps and stuff like that. But I decided not to do it on this kit. I'll save that project for another kit, because I would have had to done that inside this tub with basically tweezers, and I just wasn't in the mood for that. It'd be much easier to do it to a different kit, and I have other race car kits. I have some Japanese race cars, and I have just some other kits. So Lancia, I have a Lancia kit. I have some other ones that are built, the bodies, the interior tub's made different, and so it'd be easier. I don't know why that piece in there is green, but the instructions said to paint it green, so I did. If you're asking what the heck is that, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It just said paint it green, so I did. It's funny because you would think right here on the dash, right there, that there would be a decal or nothing, and they give you a decal, but the decal is nothing but a solid sheet of white to fill that. And I'm thinking, why would I just paint it white? I mean, why do I need it? I mean, that decal has no, it's a white decal. It has no gauges, no nothing on it. So, I don't know. I just went ahead and painted them. So, but yeah, it's coming along. And it'll work just fine. So, and so that's what's on the bench and what I'm working on. Because I have to wait so long for different things to dry and different things to like I'm waiting for the glue to dry on the, I just put the roll cage in last night and I'm waiting till that's all nice and dry and everything, keep it to go to the next step. But because I don't want to be, it was not easy. It was not easy. I had to use tweezers. I mean, basically there's holes in there to put the pieces in, but I had to use tweezers inside to get everything all lined up and get it to fit in there, and so I don't want to handle it too much and pop it all out and everything. So I've got these three going. So while I'm waiting for different things, I ran out of super glue, so I need to do some super gluing on the Chevy truck, but I ran out, so I went over to Lowe's across the street and got some this morning. Now this is an engine. This is a car model. I see this car model all the time on eBay and it's always cheap. So when you see that, sometimes when I see that, I'm like, why is that model always so cheap? Is that because it's a crappy kit? Is that because nobody likes it? Is that because it's unpopular? It's an unpopular car? It's an unpopular kit? You know, why is that car such a bargain? So I don't know nothing about this kit, which is the Revell Nazca M12. So I don't know anything about this car when I bought it. I just said, you know, it's an interesting car. I never seen nothing like it. It looks cool. So I'm going to go ahead and get it because the price is definitely right almost every time you see it. So there, you know, so I went ahead and ordered it, of course, and then so I thought I would build this in between all these other projects. The only thing I can think of is why some people may not like this kit is there's a boatload of parts in here and they're all tiny parts. So maybe that's why, I don't know, and maybe it doesn't fit together well. We'll find out. I mean, I just don't know. So I've already started assembling the engine, and this is a like V12, V12 of some kind. I think it's a BMW. So we'll see how it comes out. I mean, but it has a really nice interior. Obviously it looks like a race car, but even though I guess it's a concept car because I haven't even investigated it yet online, so I don't know what it is. And this is the chassis. So with the engine in the back, it almost looks like a Formula One car stuff going on here in the back. So you got that. And here, I'm going to move this out of the way so we can get a better idea. Sorry. This is the front of the car, and that's a pretty nice shapely body there going on. So, and then here's the rear of it. It almost looks like a Ferrari Mythos or something, you know, in a little bit. I mean, obviously it's not the same car or the kit, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work out. It has a giant window screen. I mean, there's lots of glass going on there, front and rear. So these do have a slight tint to them that may not show up on camera. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. So to be honest, it was so inexpensive. Worst case scenario, something happens and it doesn't go together well, then I got some extra parts. But I don't know. It looks like it'd be a pretty cool kit. So we will see how it works out. If you built one of these and you have a video on it, I would like to see it. Let me know in the comments, because I'll check out the video, because I'm not sure. I haven't even looked up to see if anybody's done these before. Oh, there it goes. I'm like, why doesn't that go on there? So that's what I'm working on. No other projects on hand. It's just a matter of catching up on these. I still have time on these. The rock and roll one from Woody's, that project is got a year to go. So, or I mean, not a year. I mean, I think it probably has like 10 months now. And then the truck, I think, is due in December. But we still have months to go. But I mean, I'm excited with it. All these projects, I'm into them. I'm motivated. When I sit down to the bench, I want to work on them. So that's the way it is. And actually, I've been spending more time on these two than I have the BMW. So there's a little more problem solving in both of them, because some parts I'm using, a lot of parts I'm not using. I am changing things on them a little bit. Not so much on the 32, but the 32, had the dechrome parts and paint things gloss black that used to be chrome and things like that. That all takes time. And the truck, there's just so many mods going on with that. It's a matter of test fitting over and over and trying to work out minor issues. I haven't hit anything major, but yeah, I've used a Dremel tool and been cutting stuff and fitting stuff and gluing stuff, and we will see how that turns out in the end. But it's a good project. Both of these, to me, whatever, were good builds. It's funny about the group builds, because I know there are a lot of group builds going on. Some of them I missed. I mean, I didn't start my YouTube videos until after, I guess, there was a Porsche build, and I forget the channel, I'm sorry, who started it. I probably would have jumped on that because I like Porsches, but I'm way too late for that. And I already built a 959, which I just finished last month, just on my own. So, but and there are some of them, like the 48-hour group build, which just, I had to work that weekend, and it's like I don't want to push myself like that. I got enough stress in my life, so I passed on that. But it was a lot of fun watching to see what everybody else did, and that was a blast. And some people came up with some amazing stuff in a short time. I mean, wow. And there's some other builds going on. But I'm going to just concentrate on these two, and then when I get these two done, unless something very interesting comes along, like let's say you had a group build for Skylines, or a group build for Fords, or a group build for I don't know what, somebody came up with something and I happen to have some kits of those in my small collection, I may start it. My thing is time. I need 6 months, because I still work, and I like to have time. I don't really like being rushed. Not that they rush anybody. I mean, obviously, if you're late, and many people are, that's fine. There's no issue with that, and nobody has ever complained about that. Everybody's very nice about the whole thing. And that's another thing about group builds. Everything is so pleasant. People swapping ideas. Everybody is helpful on each other's build. You're building something for the build, a group build, and you run into a snag. Usually if somebody else is building something, they can help you out with a comment or a tip. So I like the whole thing, and I'm motivated to build something. I like the motivation to have a project, to see what I can do and what everybody else is doing. And when everybody gets together at the end, you can see how many different ways you can build something. So anyway, I've probably gone on too long, but this is the bench build up, and I hope you enjoyed it. I will catch you next time. Later.